Psychonauts is a platform video game developed by Double Fine Productions. The game was initially published by Majesco Entertainment in 2005 and 2006 for Microsoft Windows, Xbox and PlayStation 2. Budcat Creations helped in the PlayStation 2 port. In 2011, Double Fine acquired the rights for the title, allowing the company to republish the title with updates for modern gaming systems and creating OS X and Linux ports. Psychonauts follows the player character Raz, a young boy gifted with psychic abilities who runs away from the circus to try to sneak into a summer camp for those with similar powers to become a psychonaut, a spy with psychic abilities. He finds that there is a sinister plot occurring at the camp that only he can stop. The game is centered on exploring the strange and imaginative minds of various characters that Raz enters as a psychonaut in training, Psycadet, to help them overcome their fears or memories of their past, so as to gain their help and progress in the game. Raz gains use of several psychic abilities during the game that are used for both attacking foes and solving puzzles. Psychonauts was based on an abandoned concept that Schafer had during the development of Full Throttle, which he expanded out into a full game through Double Fine. The game was initially backed by Microsoft's Ed Fries as a premiere title for the original Xbox console, but several internal and external issues led to difficulties for Double Fine in meeting various milestones and responding to testing feedback. Following Free's departure in 2004, Microsoft dropped the publishing rights. Double Fine was able to secure Majesco as a publisher a few months later, allowing them to complete the game after 4.5 years of development. Despite strong critical praise, Psychonauts did not sell well, with only about 100,000 retail units sold at the time of release, leading to severe financial loss for Majesco and their departure from the video game market. The title was considered a commercial failure. Psychonauts since has earned a number of industry awards and gained a cult following. Following the acquisition of the game, Double Fine's republishing capabilities and support for modern platforms has allowed them to offer the game through digital distribution, and the company has reported that their own sales of the game have far exceeded what was initially sold on its original release, with cumulative sales of nearly 1.7 million as of December 2015. Update: a sequel, Psychonauts 2, was announced at the Game Awards in December 2015. Gameplay: Psychonauts is a platform game that incorporates various adventure elements. The player controls the main character Raz in a third-person, three-dimensional view, helping Raz to uncover a mystery at the Psychonauts training camp. Raz begins with basic movement abilities such as running and jumping, but as the game progresses, Raz gains additional psychic powers such as telekinesis, levitation, invisibility, and pyrokinesis. These abilities allow the player to explore more of the camp as well as fight off enemies. These powers can either be awarded by completing certain story missions, gaining Psy ranks during the game, or by purchasing them with hidden arrowheads scattered around the camp. Powers can be improved, such as more damaging pyrokinesis or longer periods of invisibility, through gaining additional Psy ranks. The player can assign 3 of these powers to their controller or keyboard for quick use, but all earned powers are available at any time through a selection screen. The game includes both the real world of the camp and its surroundings, as well as a number of mental worlds, which exist in the consciousness of the game's various characters. The mental worlds have wildly differing art and level design aesthetics, but generally have a specific goal that Raz must complete to help resolve a psychological issue a character may have, allowing the game's plot to progress. Within the mental worlds are senses that react negatively to Raz's presence and will attack him. There are also various collectibles within the mental worlds, including figments of the character's imagination which help increase Raz's Psy ranking, and emotional baggage, which can unlock a short series of slides providing extra information on that character's backstory. Most of these worlds culminate in a boss battle that fully resolves the character's emotional distress and advances the story. The player is able to revisit any of these worlds after completing them to locate any additional collectibles they may have missed. Raz is given some items early in the game, one that allows him to leave any mental world at any time, and another that can provide hints about what to do next or how to defeat certain enemies. Raz can take damage from psychically empowered creatures around the camp at night, or by senses in the mental worlds. Due to a curse placed on his family, Raz is also vulnerable to water. If Raz's health is drained, he is respawned at the most recent checkpoint. However, this can only be done so many times while Raz is within a mental world, indicated by the number of remaining astral projections. If these are expended through respawning, the character's conscience ejects Raz, losing any progress the player has made and requiring the level to be restarted. Health and additional projections can be collected throughout the levels, or purchased at the camp store. Plot setting: the story is set in fictional Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp, a remote U.S. government training facility under the guise of a children's summer camp. The area was hit centuries ago by a meteor made of Psychonium, creating a huge crater. The Psychonium affected the local wildlife, giving them limited psychic powers, such as bears with the ability to attack with telekinetic claws and cougars with pyrokinesis. The Native Americans of the area called Psychonium Whispering Rock, which they used to build arrowheads. When settlers began inhabiting the region, the psychoactive properties of the meteor slowly drove them insane. An asylum was built to house the afflicted, but within 15 years, the asylum had more residents than the town did. The government relocated the remaining inhabitants and flooded the crater to prevent further settlement, creating what is now Lake Oblongata. The asylum still stands, but has fallen into disrepair. The government took advantage of the Psychonium deposit to set up a training camp for Psychonauts, a group of agents gifted with psychic abilities used to help defeat evildoers. The training ground is disguised as a summer camp for young children, but in reality helps the children to hone their abilities and to train them to be Psychonauts themselves. Due to this, only those recruited by the Psychonauts are allowed into the camp. Characters: the protagonist and playable character of the game is Rasputin, Raz Acquita, the son of a family of circus performers, who runs away from the circus to become a Psychonaut, despite his father's wishes. His family is cursed to die in water, and a large hand attempts to submerge Raz whenever he approaches any significantly deep water. When at camp, Raz meets 4 of the Psychonauts that run the camp: the cool and calculating Sash 9, the fun-loving Miller Vodello, the regimental agent, Coach Morso Oleander, and the aged, Mark Twain-esque Ford Cruller, said by Raz to have been the greatest leader in the Psychonauts ever had, until her past psychic jewel shattered Ford's psyche and left him with numerous quirky personalities and no memory of his real self. Only when he is near the large concentration of Psychonium does his psyche come together enough to form his real personality. During his time at camp, Raz meets several of the other gifted children, including Lily Zanotto, the daughter of the Grand Head of the Psychonauts. Raz also meets ex-residents of the insane asylum, including ex-dentist Drive Labotta, as well as Boyd Cooper, a former milkman that holds a number of government conspiracy theories, Fred Bonaparte, an asylum inmate with dissociative identity disorder, also known as a split personality, and Linda, the gigantic lungfish that protects the asylum from campgoers. Story: Raz, having fled from the circus, tries to sneak into Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp, but is caught by the Psychonauts agents. Though they contact his parents so that they may recover Raz, they allow Raz to stay at camp, though they do not allow him to participate in the camp activities. However, they recognize that Raz has strong psychic abilities. After Coach Oleander allows Raz to participate in basic braining, Sasha, impressed by his performance, invites Raz to test how strong his abilities are. While exploring his own mind, Raz comes across a vision of Dr. Lobotta attempting to pull Doggen's brain from his head, claiming that it is a bad tooth. Raz is unable to overcome a mental barrier to see more. When Raz returns to the real world, he finds that Doggen's brain has gone missing. The agents pass it off as part of Doggen's personality. With Miller's training, Raz is able to overcome the mental barrier in his mind to learn that Dr. Lobotta is working with Coach Oleander to extract the brains of the children and put them in psychic death tanks. Raz learns that Sasha and Miller have been lured away from camp on official business. Coach Oleander has disappeared, and Lily has been chosen as the next victim, taken to the insane asylum for the process. Raz consults with Ford, who is unable to leave the camp but gives Raz a piece of bacon which he can use to contact Ford at any time. Ford instructs Raz to find a way to the asylum, fearing the safety of the other children and his fellow Psychonauts. Raz frees the mutated lungfish Linda from Oleander's control, and is able to safely cross the lake. At the asylum, Raz helps 3 of the inmates to overcome their mental issues, and in turn, they help him to climb to Dr. Lobotta's lab at the top of the asylum. There, Raz finds Lily, Sasha and Miller as Lobotta's prisoners under Oleander's watchful eye. Raz is able to knock drive Lobotta to free them, and Sasha and Miller engage in a psychic battle with Oleander. During the fight, the asylum is burnt down, rendering Sasha and Miller unconscious. Oleander uses the opportunity to place his mind in one of the death tanks and turns on Raz. Raz defeats the tank, but as a last resort, Oleander rigged the tank to release a cloud of super-strength sneezing powder. Raz sneezes his brain out, and with little choice, Raz puts his brain into the tank, where his psyche is fused with that of Oleander's. In the combined mental world, Raz's childhood fears of his father and the circus are mixed with those of little Oli, Oleander's younger self, who was frightened of his father's butcher shop. Raz helps Oli to face his fears, eventually fighting against a fusion of their 2 fathers. Suddenly, an image of Raz's father appears, explaining that he is actually a powerful psychic himself, and had only dissuaded Raz from joining the camp to protect him, rather than discourage. Raz's father lends his help to defeat Oli's fears, allowing Raz's and Oli's brains to unfuse. Raz wakes up back at camp as Sasha and Miller help to restore the brains to the rest of the children, and is surprised to find his father there as well. The Psychonauts commend Raz for his outstanding work, and with his father's allowance, they name him as a fellow Psychonaut. Raz prepares to leave camp with his father, but word arrives that the grand head of the Psychonauts, Lily's father, Truman Zanotto, has been kidnapped. Raz, Lily, and the Psychonauts fly off to rescue him.